You'd have to believe in a whole bunch of tooth fairies living in the North Pole not to think that this is not a coincidence. And that's what we've been talking about all week. And we've got a new wrinkle to get into it with Carolyn, our former federal prosecutor, and my cousin. So we're here with Carolyn and Jamie. And guys, we've got a picture up here of Ghislaine Maxwell's digs these days in Texas. They call it a camp. A retired federal prison special investigative agent said in an interview with NBC News he could not recall an instance in which a sex offender was moved to a prison camp.
They're never sent to this level, which is what makes it very weird.
They categorize offenders, inmates, by the severity of the crime, and there are 5 levels. The highest is called greatest severity, and then there is high severity, moderate, low to moderate, and then lowest. And then there are different offenses within those different categories. My review of the different categories and what's included, Ghislaine would be in at least the second highest category, which would definitely not allow her to be at a camp.
Well, and when we look at what some of the former
employees, BOP.
Employees, I mean, here's one with the Bureau of Prisons, which is BOP, who said, I did a lot of classification and case management. I was a case management coordinator, camp administrator, and then associate warden. During that time, I've never seen them waive a sex offense public safety factor for a transfer to a minimum security. So who's making these decisions?
Well, that's the question. I read somewhere that she was moved by BOP, but that the directive to do so would have had to have come from higher up, outside of BOP. So I can't imagine that BOP would make this type of a move without authorization or request from someone at the Department of Justice or higher. There are occasions where BOP might move someone based on other factors, but not when you're talking about someone who is convicted of sexual offenses
with women.
So,
with women.
I'm sorry. From what do you mean?
I mean, her sex offenses were with women, and she's in a women's prison.
Well, that's true, but I think the major part of her crime was the fact that, having sex with another woman is not a crime. But she was having sex, or she was convicted of sexual offenses against female minors. That's the crime, that they were minors. That's what she was convicted of.
Under no circumstances would someone who had committed the crimes that she was found guilty of be sent to this level of prison.
So, I mean, look at the timeline here. She had this meeting with the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, and a week or 2 later, she ends up in this prison that we're now learning from these former Bureau of Prisons people. I mean, here's another one that, that it was not right to move her there. Here we have Robert Hood, a former Bureau of Prisons Chief of Internal Affairs, said in an email to NBC the transfer was a travesty of justice. He said to relocate a sex offender serving 20 years to a country club setting is offensive to victims and others serving similar crimes. I guess it's established this is unusual.
It is. It is unusual.
And we'll just have to stay on it and find out why. We can all guess, but we can make pretty informed guesses, but that's all they are.